That was another thing, by the way. Israel's foreign ministry is paying $7,000 a post to certain influencers. Actually, I want to get into that. Earlier this week, it came out that the Israeli foreign ministry was paying $7,000 in some cases to Instagram influencers for posts. And, you know, the content itself was so toxic and pro-war, and like it was like Lizzie Savetsky's and Zach Sage Fox's, and people going to Washington Square Park and being like, you guys know Hamas exists? You know, like completely being like, oh, there's no aid problems in Gaza. There's no, whatever. Then over the past couple of months, they've started to go against the hostage families. And a big thing here is that there's hostage families are divided into two factions, which I will say, if I'm wrong about this, but from what I understand, there's certain ones that want more pressure in Gaza and certain ones that want more diplomatic, this to be handled more diplomatically. I tend to side with the diplomatic side, but I would never speak over column A here. Like, I would never say, like, side one of this is wrong. Side, we need to up the pressure and double down and choke off Gaza is wrong. Like, that is not my position. I'm not Israeli. I am not, I've not been affected in this way. I would never talk over them. There were several American fucking influencers, some of whom ran away from Israel the second October 7th happened, chartered private planes, allegedly, in some cases to get out of there, who are now saying like, oh, the hostage families that are rallying and protesting this war, they're wrong. Like, that's fucking crazy. And it was those people that were getting paid off by by certain, extremist sides of this. And once again, I have not really dug in to the story specifically. I had never been offered that kind of money. I'm questioning also whether this was like, in trips and whatever and this and that. But so much of the branding from the paid influencer side of this has been fucking crazy. There was a time, I remember one of there were two times that I really had issues that made me like completely like repulsed with the social media and internet response from the Jewish side on this. The first one was that there was a gala fundraiser and it was a picture of a bunch of like hot girls in cocktail dresses and they were toasting. And then on the wall behind them, it just said Bebas, which is the last name of the family that had been kidnapped. And, the mother and it was the babies that, they did not get out of there. The father, God knows what he's going through. And I'm just looking at that and I'm thinking like, who the fuck is this for? This money is going to nowhere. It's just to get Instagram clicks and to say, I'm supporting this cause or whatever. It was those factions that had sullied like what this was. That was number one point of repulsion. Number two was there was a series of videos that kind of dropped at the same time where it showed influencers outside of by the aid trucks that had been going into Gaza. And they were taking selfie videos of themselves in front of the aid trucks to Gaza. And you can see the other influencers in the back of the shot. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is not a photo op. Send CNN, send Fox News, send MSNBC, send Newsmax, OAN, whoever you want to send, treat it like that. But to have like we did a brand fucking trip to go to watch this thing is psychotic. And optically, it looked terrible. It also meant that in order for them to let the aid trucks in, it was like a shoot, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let the aid trucks in, like it's fucking Extreme Makeover Home Edition. And that stuff looks terrible. It looks awful. It is why we lost the fucking war when it came to information. And even if we're 1,000% right, and even if everything that we're saying is 100% accurate, and and we are unquestionably the right thing here and all that stuff, it doesn't make a difference because the way it's packaged makes us look like assholes. So that money, the millions and millions and millions of dollars that whoever decided how this money was spent that went to influencer social media marketing, congratulations, you made the problem worse. You made the problem worse, and now we are going to have to dig ourselves out of this because of this fucking, like, insanity. I don't know who looked at any of those videos. Who saw fucking Lizzie Savetsky going like, Palestinians deserve to be bombed, and thought like, we got to put money behind that. It's just crazy. There's this kid, Zach Sage Fox, who goes into the West Bank and does videos that are like, this is West Bank. He did a video where he had an Australian accent. And he went into the West Bank and was like, we're looking for apartheid. It's on this week of apartheid hunters. It was a Steve Irwin riff called Apartheid Hunters in the fucking West Bank. And it's like, even if you think he is right, you know that looks insane. That's crazy. And they funded this shit. It's like, what are we fucking doing? And for the rest of our lives, we'll be digging ourselves out of this problem that was created because of the marketing and branding behind the response to this war. Do you want to go on Apartheid Hunters next week, Rich?
Thank God.
You've seen the content. I mean, like, speak on it or don't speak on it, but like...
Yeah. No, I mean, and absolutely, like, definitely and I totally understand where you're coming from in terms of the marketing and packaging. I could see someone respond and be like, understood, fair enough, bad PR. And then I could see them just bring up, like just the statistics
of
60,000 dead. Like, that's probably the worst PR.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Beyond, and I realize that
yes.
even saying that worst, like not even putting in a PR, like, but I understand particularly you, like, being in this space, like, I imagine being caught between like two worlds, 3 or 4 worlds, that's tough. And in the same breath, I can see someone respond and be like, the bigger thing is mass casualties.
I want to say 1,000% right. And the answer is back to that is, this is why you need to separate the government from Israel. Because what they've done and who they've decided to prop up and who they've given thousands and hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to, have labeled us all as this hateful, toxic side, which is so inaccurate. They've made it seem through the power of funding that the Jewish response to this en masse is to support this. And only until fairly recently has there been enough media coverage and been enough all that other stuff that shows the hundreds and thousands of people that are protesting this in Israel, that are showing that, majority of people in Israel don't want this. It just is statistically by every fucking measure, but you would never know that based on where this dollar amount is getting spent.
So I can see what you're saying. It's as if, like, they unintentionally fed into that stereotype.
Yes, totally. Yeah. Absolutely. They 1,000% pushed that. They also lost where the war is now. Obviously, like, I'll quote every single. You don't need to listen to me. You can listen to every single Israeli general who has said that they've lost the plot at this point. Don't listen to me on this. Listen to every single other, pro-Israel, uber Zionist who says that this war has gone too far. Don't listen to me on that. There was the reason why this all started was because of October 7th, or at least that's where everything picked up. And by not playing that better, they lost the information war on that as well, in my mind, where we don't talk about the hostages anymore because so much of the hostage families are against what is happening. There's been a complete split of why we were there in the first place versus now. And that also happens to be, you call it out the way it is that, like, a lot of this money is controlled by a Bibi-led, pro this war minority opinion in Israel, statistically a minority opinion in Israel that does not want this going. So you also have this, like, psychopath who is leading an unhelpful war that is funding this disaster and then is branding it as not a disaster, but is fucking up the branding and in doing so, has turned us all has made us all fucking look like pieces of shit. It's the worst combination of stuff, and no one woke up.